before I go to the dentist in about half an hour. Seriously, I'd like you, each of you who watch this video, and whoever else you might share it with, I'd like you to imagine how you would feel, say you're in the UK like I am, how you would feel had the Nazis been successful, crossed the Channel and invaded the United Kingdom, putting in a puppet king, Edward, and Wallis Simpson, of course, as his consort, and ruling everything, government, police, the military, everything coming under Nazi control. That noise is Harriet sharpening the claws. Of course, they wanted a pure Aryan race, but they didn't mind the British. They wanted us British, Irish, as allies. Hitler called the United States a mongrel race. Those were his words, a mongrel race. Because, of course, there was a lot of immigration to the United States, a lot of land grabs from native Indians. Do you see where I'm going with this perspective? A more powerful army, a more powerful force, powerful military, powerful puppet governments with a lot of money behind them that can walk in, take over, and the public, Mr. Ordinary, has got nothing whatsoever bloody ever to say about it. Imagine if the United Kingdom was drawn up into sectors whereby the British have free reign, but maybe the Irish, maybe the Welsh, maybe the Scottish, the Celts, you know, certainly any immigrants, Polish, definitely Jews, they would be ghettoised. They would be in a ghetto with guards posted so that they couldn't walk in and out as they pleased. Excuse me a minute. Sorry, somebody's just come. Imagine that. Imagine if we all had to have identity cards where we were rated, you know, like the Yellow Star of David for the Jewish people, maybe something else for the Celts, maybe something else for the Poles. And on a whim, the Nazi government could get rid of one sector of people, just like that, on a whim, because they wanted to, because they were all powerful, they were almighty. And because they had conquered Europe, because they had conquered the United Kingdom, they had the full backing of the United States, of Russia. Europe was entirely subjugated. The Australians, they were all behind the Nazi government because they were all powerful. because all the money was directed to them and they could do exactly what they wanted to do. And they did. Of course, there'd be peace treaties signed up whereby there would be no invasion of the United States, no invasion of Australia, no conflict with Russia. They would be quite satisfied, the Nazis, having conquered Europe and the jewel in the crown, the Koh-i-Noor in the crown, the United Kingdom. Imagine. Imagine also, had they made examples out of the leaders, the war leaders of this country. I'm not talking so much about Churchill. He was, in my opinion, a warmonger anyway. My mother always said so, and I feel the same. A bit like I feel about Netanyahu. But imagine if they'd pilloried, hanged, guillotined even, the likes of Chamberlain, who attempted to make the peace pact, the likes of others in that government who attempted to appease the Germans. Imagine. Oswald Mosley, of course, the Nazi in the United Kingdom, he would be at their beck and call. He would have just revelled in the fact that his clan, the Nazis, had come to power, rightly so in his view. Likewise, the Mitford sisters, all Nazi sympathisers. And I'll go on further to say that you've seen pictures, you may not have seen them, but you can research them, of the then King George and his queen, who became the Queen Mother, and their daughters, Elizabeth, who became Queen, and Margaret Rose, Princess. There are pictures of them at Sandringham, all doing the Nazi salutes. But it was a joke. It was a joke. It was nothing more than a joke. However, I'd ask you, we all know that Edward the, what was he, 7th or 8th, we all know that he had a lot of regard for Adolf Hitler. We all know that Wallis Simpson had a high regard for Adolf Hitler, and he for they, because he knew that they were malleable, that he could put Edward, depose George, put Edward on the throne with Wallis at his side, and that would be another arrow in their bow, another indication to the British people that we've got you all in our pockets. Prince Philip, of course, who, how old was he then? I don't know, 17. But we all know that the royal family are Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, the German name, and Mountbatten. And Prince Philip's sisters were married to Luftwaffe officers. Do you really think that the elite of this country would be too concerned that the country was under Nazi rule? But how would the ordinary people feel to be under those jackboots? I'd say probably we'd be feeling much the same as the people in Gaza and Hebron are feeling and have felt for quite a long time. I'll be back later.